Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Talk English. I'm Emily, and today we're talking about something that comes up literally all the time when you meet new people: introducing your country.
Hey everyone, I'm Daniel, and yeah, this is such a common conversation topic, but so many learners freeze up when someone asks, "So, what's your country like?" They end up giving these really short, boring answers like, "It's nice," or "We have good food," and then the conversation just dies.
Oh, I've seen this so many times, and the frustrating part is that these learners usually have amazing things to share about their culture, their food, their traditions, but they just don't know how to express it naturally in English.
Exactly. And here's why this topic is so important. When you meet native English speakers, whether it's at work, at university, while traveling, or even online, one of the first things they'll ask about is where you're from. And if you can talk about your country in an interesting, engaging way, it's an instant conversation starter.
So true. Plus, talking about your country is actually easier than many topics because you're the expert. You know the food, you know the culture, you know the traditions. You just need the right vocabulary and phrases to express it confidently.
Right. And today we're going to give you exactly that. We'll cover how to introduce your country's location, how to describe what makes it unique, how to talk about food in a way that makes people actually want to try it, and how to share cultural traditions without sounding like a boring textbook.
We'll also talk about common mistakes learners make, like being too general or too modest, and how to strike the right balance between informative and interesting. Plus, we've got tons of example phrases you can adapt to your own country.
By the end of this episode, you'll be able to have engaging conversations about your country that make people genuinely interested and curious to learn more. You might even inspire someone to visit.
Let's dive in. All right, so let's start with the basics. Imagine we just met at a conference and I ask you, "So, Daniel, where are you from?"
Okay, so I'd say I'm originally from Canada, specifically from Vancouver on the West Coast. See how I added originally from? That's more natural than just I'm from, especially if you're not currently living there.
Good, and you specified the city and region. Why is that important?
Because just saying I'm from Canada is too vague. Canada's huge. But when I say Vancouver on the West Coast, it gives people a clearer picture. It's located on the Pacific coast, surrounded by mountains and water.
Perfect. And what if I want to know more? What would you say makes Vancouver special?
Great question. So I might say what makes Vancouver special is the combination of urban life and nature. You can literally go skiing in the morning and be at the beach by afternoon. Or I could say one thing that really stands out about Vancouver is the cultural diversity. You'll hear dozens of languages just walking down the street.
I love how you gave specific, vivid examples. That's so much better than saying Vancouver is nice and diverse.
Exactly. Paint a picture with your words. Don't just say it's beautiful, tell them why it's beautiful. Don't say the food is good, describe a specific dish that makes people's mouths water.
Okay, so let's talk about food because that's always a huge topic. How do you introduce your country's cuisine?
So I'd say something like Canadian food is really influenced by different cultures: British, French, Indigenous, and immigrant communities. But if you're looking for something authentically Canadian, you have to try poutine.
And how would you describe poutine to someone who's never heard of it?
I'd say poutine is basically French fries topped with gravy and cheese curds. I know it sounds simple, but trust me, it's addictive. It's one of those dishes that sounds weird but tastes amazing.
Nice. You made it sound interesting, not just it's fries with cheese and gravy. What about cultural traditions? That's where a lot of learners really struggle.
Yeah, traditions can be tricky to explain. I might say in Canada, we have this tradition of celebrating Thanksgiving, kind of like the US, but in October. The way we celebrate it is gathering with family for a big meal, usually turkey, stuffing, all that.
Good. And what if someone asks about the people or general culture? That's another tough one.
Right, because you don't want to stereotype, but you also want to give a sense of what people are like. I usually say, Canadians are generally known for being polite and friendly. We literally apologize for everything. But there's also this stereotype that we all say a at the end of sentences, which, okay, some of us do.
I like how you used humor there. That's important, right? You don't want to sound like you're reading from a tourism brochure.
Exactly. Keep it conversational and authentic. Share personal experiences. If you've experienced something interesting or funny related to your culture, mention it. People connect with stories, not facts.
Okay, so what about when people ask comparisons? Like, how is Canada different from the US?
Ah, yes, comparison questions. I'd say, compared to the US, Canada has universal healthcare and generally more liberal policies. In terms of culture, I'd say Canadians are a bit more reserved, less outwardly patriotic. But honestly, the differences are pretty subtle since we share a lot of history and media.
That's diplomatic. You acknowledged similarities too, not just differences.
Yeah, that's important. Don't bash other countries to make yours look good. Stay balanced and respectful. You can highlight what makes your country unique without putting others down.
What about when you want to invite someone or suggest they visit? How do you phrase that?
I love this part. I usually end with, if you ever get the chance to visit, I highly recommend checking out Vancouver in the summer. The weather is perfect and there are tons of festivals. You'd probably enjoy the outdoor activities if you like hiking or kayaking.
That's so welcoming, and you personalized it based on what they might like.
Exactly. Tailor your recommendation to the person. If they mention they love food, focus on restaurants. If they're into history, mention museums. This shows you're actually listening and thinking about what they'd enjoy.
Before we move to vocabulary, any common mistakes you see learners make?
Oh yeah, the biggest mistake is being too modest or generic about their country. Learners say things like, it's okay, or nothing special about their country. That kills the conversation. Even if your country is small or not well known, you can find interesting things to share.
What's another one?
Giving information dumps. Some learners prepare these long, rehearsed speeches about their country's history, geography, economy. It's too much. Keep answers conversational, 2 to 3 sentences at a time, then let the other person ask follow-up questions.
Perfect advice. All right, let's break down all that vocabulary now. Time for our vocabulary breakdown. These phrases work for introducing any country, so adapt them to your own background.
Let's go through them.
First, I'm originally from.
This phrase indicates where you were born or raised, especially when you now live elsewhere. Example, I'm originally from Mexico, but I've been living in Spain for 5 years.
More natural than I'm from in many contexts. You can follow with, but now I'm based in, or though I currently live in. Use this when your origin and current location differ.
Second, it's located in, on, or near.
Essential for describing geographic position. Located is formal enough for clarity, but natural in conversation. Examples, it's located in Central Europe. It's located on the coast of West Africa. It's located near the Himalayas.
Choose your preposition carefully. In for regions or continents, on for coasts or borders, near for proximity to landmarks. This helps people visualize where you're talking about.
Third, what makes place special is
Perfect for highlighting unique features in an engaging way. Example, what makes Thailand special is the combination of ancient temples and modern cities.
alternative structures. What's special about place is, the thing that makes place unique is, or more casually, what's cool about place is, this signals interesting information is coming.
Fourth, one thing that really stands out about place is
Stands out means to be noticeably different or distinctive. Example, one thing that really stands out about Iceland is the dramatic landscape, volcanoes, glaciers, and waterfalls everywhere.
similar phrases, one thing that strikes you about place, or something unique about place, or a distinctive feature of place. This structure focuses attention on one memorable aspect rather than listing many.
Fifth, paint a picture with your words.
This is advice about being descriptive and vivid rather than generic. Example, instead of the market is busy, say, the market is packed with vendors shouting their prices, colorful spices piled high, and the smell of fresh bread everywhere.
It means to describe so clearly that listeners can visualize it. Use sensory details, what you see, hear, smell, taste, feel. This makes your descriptions memorable and engaging.
Sixth, country food is really influenced by.
Explains culinary origins and historical context. Example, Turkish food is really influenced by Ottoman, Mediterranean, and Middle Eastern cuisines.
Shows cultural awareness and helps people understand why certain dishes exist. You can also say draws from, is shaped by, or has roots in. This gives context before describing specific dishes.
Seventh, if you're looking for something authentically nationality,
Introduces traditional or iconic dishes or experiences. Example, if you're looking for something authentically Italian, skip the tourist restaurants and find a small family trattoria.
positions you as a knowledgeable guide. More casual versions, for real nationality food, if you want authentic to experience true nationality culture, creates anticipation for your recommendation. Eighth, it's basically perfect for simple explanations of unfamiliar concepts. Example, kimchi is basically fermented vegetables, usually cabbage, with spices.
Signals you're giving a simplified description, not a comprehensive one. Useful when explaining food, traditions, or concepts that don't have direct translations. Follow with more details if they're interested.
We have this tradition of verbing.
Natural way to introduce cultural practices. Example, we have this tradition of taking off shoes before entering homes.
This tradition sounds more conversational than a tradition. Follow with the way we do it is to explain the practice. Works for holidays, customs, social norms, or rituals.
Nationalities are generally known for being.
Describes national characteristics while acknowledging generalizations. Example, Germans are generally known for being punctual and direct in communication.
Generally is important. It shows you know not everyone fits the description. Can describe personality traits, values, behaviors, or characteristics. Use respectfully and avoid negative stereotypes.
11th, compared to place in terms of aspect.
Structure for organizing comparisons. Example, compared to other European countries, Portugal is quite affordable. In terms of weather, it's similar to California.
Compared to sets up the comparison. In terms of introduces specific aspects, culture, food, weather, cost, size. This prevents rambling comparisons and keeps answers focused.
And finally, if you ever get the chance to visit,
Friendly, non-pushy invitation or suggestion. Example, if you ever get the chance to visit Peru, the Sacred Valley is absolutely worth seeing.
more welcoming than you should visit can be followed by specific recommendations like I highly recommend, make sure to try, don't miss. Shows hospitality without pressure.
These phrases work for any country. Just insert your own details. Mix and match them naturally in conversation. All right, everyone, practice time. These challenges will help you apply what you've learned this week.
Challenge 1. Create your 60-second country introduction. Write and practice a 1-minute introduction to your country covering location, what makes it special, one food item, and one cultural aspect. Use at least 4 phrases from today's episode.
Example structure. I'm originally from country, which is located in region. What makes country special is this unique feature. If you're looking for something authentically nationality, you have to try dish. We also have this tradition of tradition.
Record yourself saying it. Listen back and notice where you hesitate. That's what you need to practice more.
Challenge 2. Find a conversation partner online. Use platforms like HelloTalk, Tandem, or language exchange subreddits. Ask them where they're from, then share about your country using today's phrases. Real conversations are the best practice.
Challenge 3. Answer these 3 questions out loud. Pause the podcast and actually speak your answers. 1. What makes your country special? 2. What's one dish people must try? 3. What's one tradition or cultural practice unique to your country?
Don't just think the answers, say them out loud. Speaking practice is crucial. Aim for 2 to 3 sentences per answer, not just the one word.
Challenge 4. Watch a travel video about your country. Pay attention to how they describe it. What phrases do they use? What aspects do they highlight? Then practice describing those same things in your own words.
Challenge 5. Create a mental toolkit. Write down 5 specific examples ready for common questions. Your favorite dish, a famous landmark, a unique tradition, something surprising about your country, and your personal favorite thing about your culture.
Having these prepared examples means you'll never be caught off guard when someone asks about your country. You'll always have interesting things to share.
The key is repetition and real practice. Don't just listen to this episode once. Come back to it, practice the phrases, and actually use them in conversations this week.
That's it for today's episode. Let's quickly recap. Introducing your country is one of the most common conversation topics, and it's your chance to shine because you're the expert.
We covered how to describe your country's location, what makes it unique, how to talk about food in an appetizing way, and how to explain cultural traditions naturally. Remember to be specific, paint a picture with your words, and keep it conversational, not like a textbook.
The key phrases we learned work for any country. I'm originally from, what makes place special is, we have this tradition of, compared to, and if you ever get the chance to visit. Use these to structure your answers.
Avoid common mistakes. Don't be too modest or generic. Don't give information dumps, and always tailor your recommendations to what the other person might enjoy. Show pride in your culture while staying balanced and respectful.
We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment telling us where you're from and one thing that makes your country special. Practice using the phrases from today's episode.
And next week, we're covering something equally practical: how to give directions in English like a native speaker, whether you're helping tourists in your city or navigating a new place yourself.
Thanks for listening to Real Talk English. Now go out there and share your country's story with confidence. You have so much to offer.
Bye, everyone.